feel the heat, but we don't wanna let go. We answer questions that we ask alone. I hear the words, but they're coming out in echo. So, would you give up the fight if you had no time to even surrender? Would you give up your rights and let your life slide away? Your nirvana. I feel a way I've never felt before. I finally found what I'm looking for. So, would you give up the fight if you had no time to even surrender? Would you give up your rights and let your life slide away? That's a race, so you've been made to race. Forever in our open arms, we're thankful we made it safe so far. We proudly show our battle scars because they made us true. So, would you give up the fight if you had no time to even surrender? Would you give up your rights and let your life slide away? There's a race, so you've been made to race. There's a race, so you've been made to race.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 75th episode of FNV. FNV is short for Friday Night VTubing, and this is a show where I, your host Zarastro, interview various VTubers from all over the community. And tonight, our wonderful guest will be Ghost Girl Marlie. That's a long name, so I'll just be calling you Marlie. So, Marlie, please say hi, introduce yourself, and tell our listeners a fun little interesting fact about yourself that they might not know.
Right. Hi, Ghost Girl Marlie, your local ghost girl, I suppose. And I am a girl, and I'm a ghost, and I'm a VTuber. A funny fact, or a fun fact, is that I have an extremely picky taste in men, and the only good one I can think of is Roro no Azoro from One Piece.
I am gonna confess, I've not watched a single episode of One Piece. I have zero interest in watching a single episode of One Piece.
Okay, you don't have to watch the anime. You can also just read the manga, which is a faster experience, even though it still has like 100 volumes. But regardless,
is it
yeah,
faster?
It is. I mean, it depends on if you're a fast reader or a slow reader, but I guess it's faster also because there's no fillers and whatever, and some arcs are not stretched out in a way. But I think there might be like guides out there for like what's a good order to watch them in and what's a good episode to skip and whatever. But I've watched all of it.
Oh yeah,
twice
no,
even.
I've seen that. It's something called like Timepiece or something, where it's like it's a site that tells you the episodes and just like it cuts out all of the filler episodes or something.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it, but I've not actually like used them myself.
I don't know. I just heard of it in a Trash Taste episode the other day.
Yeah, I think I might have heard it from like a Geek video or something.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Same person.
Yeah, same person. It was somewhere there. It was one of the boys, one of them. But okay, so yeah, thanks for coming on. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We've got a set list of questions, and I'm going to ask you the first one because I need some info. What's your lore? How did you become a ghost?
All right, I've got lore, and there's two reasons why I've got this lore. And my lore is that I'm a ghost, and I don't remember why I died. So that's the number one thing.
We got some amnesia. Okay.
something like that, definitely. And the number one reason for that is because, first of all, when you die, you probably have lots of stuff going on. You could hit your head when you die. That could affect it.
Oh,
And
fair.
alternatively, what if there's some time shift bullshit going on where you shift to different time? What is it? Like a different universes, and that's because you forget things? That's my
Oh.
theory right now. And the second reason for why this is my lore is because I don't have the money to fund the kind of lore video I want to make.
Oh, I don't either. Don't worry. My lore is
So
just
as-
like, yeah, no, I fucking died.
Right. So as long as I'm not satisfied with what can put out there, I'm not putting it out there, and I'm going to be amnesia ghost.
Ah, okay. So you're saying that memories are unlocked with money?
Mayhaps.
Mayhaps. Just
I
a
won't
tiny
deny
bit. Once the bank's big enough, then the memory bank gets unlocked. I like that.
Yeah. To be fair, I think I did promise that if I get 10k Twitch followers, I would do it. So
Oh, shit.
it's almost the same thing.
How far are you from that goal?
Well, right now I have 1,500, so there's a bit of way to go.
It's a bit of a way. I'm sure you'll get there. I'll give you 2 years tops.
Hopefully.
Well, okay. I like when lore's short and sweet and easy to understand.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's bad when you have very very detailed lore.
No, I find that very interesting too. Like when people have like whole novels written about it or something like that.
Oh
Like a whole 20-minute episode to see what your lore is like. It's really cool actually.
Nah, you ain't beating Oshinoko though. You need that 1 hour 50 minutes lore video.
True. That should be my goal. I'm gonna hire an actual anime studio to animate it and everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for Studio Nut. I'm gonna get Studio Nut to do my.
that is an option. I think I would. Well, if I got to choose anything, to be honest, I would just go for Ufotable because they've got the
Ufotable?
best animation out there. Yeah.
I mean, I would argue. I'm a Mappa fan,
Fair.
and otherwise, like if I really had free reign, I would just get Tape.
Also fair.
I would just get Tape to do the thing for me.
There's a lot of studios that you could pick, and it would probably not go wrong. To be fair.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there are a lot of top quality studios, and so even some
Sure.
of them have made duds. So I'm probably gonna be one of them.
Fair.
But okay. So then let me ask you. So, what were some of the inspirations and influences behind your design? Why did you choose to look how you do?
Well, the first thing that I had in mind when I was thinking about my design was that, okay, I like mint green, so I want to be something that's very mint green.
Which is not Hatsune Miku.
No, she's more like teal.
She is more teal. She does have mint green versions though.
True, I mean, to be fair, she has everything from like dark blue to yellow or
She's got that
pink
whole,
or whatever. Everyone has their own version of her, to be fair.
She's got that whole ass what do you call it?
Free
forget.
creativity, something.
The whole color scheme.
Ah, right,
The whole
yeah.
wheel. She's got the whole wheel.
Definitely. But once I settled on the color, I was like, okay, what is a generally like a cool concept that could be green? Like, what could I become? And I was like, you know what? Ghosts are pretty green. Usually, like they're either like if I think of a color for a ghost, it's either white or it's green. So I was like, you know what? That sounds like a good idea.
We'll just go with those.
And then, yeah. And then when it came to the actual like design aspect, I was like Googling, okay, ghost girl. What does a ghost girl look like? And there was all just those creepy child looking things with like nothing. So I was like, okay, well, I guess this is my moment to be a little more creative than use Google Images for a reference. And I was just thinking, well, ghost girls, they have a dress. So I guess I'll have a dress. And then I was thinking, okay, what's a dress that I really like? And I really like idol anime, so that's a big source of inspiration on its own. But I was like, okay, what's a pretty dress from a specific idol anime? I was like, okay, Aikatsu episode like well, I don't know, 70 or something. There's this one specific episode where this idol unit called Double M performs the song called Precious, and they have the really pretty dresses, and they've got like jewels on the dress, and it's so pretty. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna send this as a reference to my artist, and they can kind of figure it out from there.
They can go from it. They can move with it from there. They'll know what to do.
Yeah. Though I did
Okay.
have like a general kind of like shape of the dress and whatever in mind, and I also sent that, but I was just like, okay, combine this really generic shape of a dress with this really pretty textured dress thing in this video, and boom, that's how it happened.
Okay. So, what would you say would then be, what's a small detail maybe that you got from somewhere else specific that didn't influence like your whole, like too much other than that small detail? Are there any?
Maybe my earrings. They're really small, first of all. Like, I don't even think a lot of people notice them unless they start looking for them.
I think I can
But-
see them where I am at.
Yeah. And it's also kind of, the other one is like sometimes visible if I shake enough or like do a specific angle. I keep forgetting what the angle is, but it's somewhere there. Sometimes the other one is visible too.
It's probably
But-
something like this. Looking
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
top left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it there. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
See, I'm a rigger. I know how these things work.
You know well. But yeah, I think I've just always liked the earrings, but I don't wear them enough. So I was just like, you know what? Now I'm gonna force myself to wear them literally all
Okay.
the time.
Yeah, now you can't take them off. They've been welded shut. They're now
Exactly.
a part of your ear. If you want to go shower, oh well.
Yep, they're there.
Although then again, we all know VTubers don't shower.
That's true.
We're all stinky.
Very much.
But okay, then who or what inspired you to become a VTuber? What led you down the rabbit hole? How did you discover VTubing? I'm asking many questions in one go. You can answer them however you wish.
I shall. So I think I first discovered VTubers pretty much around the time that Kizuna Ai like debuted or started making content. Like all the way back
That's
then.
a while back.
Yeah. It's because I was doing MMD things and Kizuna Ai had her MMD model distributed and a lot of
Okay.
people were using it. So I was like, oh, who's this? And I was like, oh, that's a thing. And I think even back then I was really curious about VTubing and I was like, oh, what's this? But then I looked into it and I realized, first of all, if you wanted to do this thing yourself, one, you need a really expensive model that you would like get, like a 3D model. Those cost so much. And
Yeah.
second of all, you would also need some kind of like motion tracking system. And on top of that, you would also have to do all the video editing and everything. And I was like, oh my God, that's a lot. And I don't think I can do that. So then I just forgot about VTubing for like a solid 2 or 3 years, however long it took for the big boom to happen.
For the hollow
'Cause-
boom.
Yeah, exactly. I basically just didn't think about VTubers at all until my friend just started sending me like VTuber memes every day. At some
Oh,
point, I was
okay.
like, what is this?
This isn't Kiss and
I
I.
No, it's not. And I was like, now they're 2D now and everything. Like, I've not seen this before. And I think I just kind of let it be like a thing that my friend was into, and I just treat it as like almost like a joke. You're like, okay, your friend is into something silly, and you just kind of make fun of it for a little bit. So it was like
your
a thing
friend
like
being
that.
into an anime like 5-ish years ago.
Yeah,
Before anime became cool and mainstream.
exactly. So I was like that for like a solid half a year until I forgot which company it was that opened auditions like in like December or something. And then I kind of gave it a shot, but everything I put in that audition was literally terrible, and we don't need to talk about that. But from there on, it kind of grew on. Like for a month or two, I was just like, you know what? This sounds like a really cool idea. And then eventually I was just like, okay, fuck it. Let's go find an artist. Let's commission a PNG and give it a shot. I'm going to probably give up in like 2 months anyway. But then in 2 months, I was like, you know what? I want to have a real live 2D model. And then I had to wait another couple of months until I seriously felt like I was serious about it. And I was like, okay, fine. I'm addicted now. And at that point, I think I was also watching a lot of Niji Sanji, and I was just like addicted. I was like, oh god.
When would you say was that? What time span? What year?
I think about 2 years ago, since I've almost been VTubing for 2 years. It's like June, I think, is my anniversary.
Okay, you're going on the list.
The list?
The list, yes. Don't worry about it. You're just,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's a Twitter list. It can't do much. But yeah,
I see.
there we go. You've been added to the list. It's purely for my own sake.
I see.
But okay. So you've then been you fell down the Kizna eye hole and then got out of it, and then fell back down the hollow hole.
Basically.
Okay. Okay. Who would you say is your Oshi?
Pomo Rain Buff. I love
Pomo?
her. She's too cute. Yeah.
Okay. Then the next question that I have for you is, what inspires you now? Is there a specific streamer you look up to, in terms of someone whose content is in a way, or yeah, you can like content based, personality based, how they interact with their community and all that?
There is actually a very specific person who I consider to be my like creative idol in a way. Like, it's like someone that I look up to, even though they're not an idol. Well, he's not an idol by any means. So this is Circus B, the vocal producer. First of all, I guess I'm just a big fan of his music in general. I've been a fan of that for like almost 10 years. But he's also been streaming a lot recently. When I say recently, that's like a past maybe 3 years. That's a lot of time already, but it's like, oh, that happened like yesterday, is how I feel about it. But I feel like he's one of those people who I just have been following for such a long time that I always get really like impressed by whatever new content he puts out. And I'm just like, this is so much better than what you did like two months ago. And I'm just like super impressed by it. And then I sometimes go back to his old work from like 8 years ago, and I'm like, oh my god, he's so much better now. And it really inspires me to just become better myself too. And then at some point I'm like, okay, I feel like I finally caught up to him a little bit. And then he publishes something new. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so far away from him still.
It's like every time he posts, he's jumped up in quality.
Oh like yeah, absolutely.
An order of magnitude.
Definitely.
Okay. So then, what would you say is something about VTubing that interests or fascinates you the most? Yeah. I don't know how else to rephrase that question.
I think it's just a general, like, new creative medium that is created with VTubing. And the whole idea that you don't have to show your face, or you don't have to just be just a voice and no face cam or anything. I really, really like that aspect of how first of all, you don't need to show your face, and you don't need to worry about putting on makeup, or is it okay to wear the same shirt 2 days in a row? You don't need to do any of that. And it's also the fact that you can just like do a lot of creative stuff that you couldn't really do if you're like a normal face cam streamer. Like, you can create your lore, and it's not going to be like weirded out. Like, nobody's going to be weirded out by it any more than they are weirded out by you being an anime character.
Yeah. I mean, like, hey, come on. You look at me. I'm a demon. I've got horns. I've got boobs.
Yes. Yeah, but like, if you go see like a face cam streamer and they say, oh, I'm a demon, actually, everyone's going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with them?
Yeah. Everybody's going to treat you like a toonie.
Yeah. So with VTubing, you could be a toonie, and it's not a bad thing.
It can be toonie, but it can be in character.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. And then a fun little hypothetical, and I wanna see if we can pick your brain a bit. So let's say you had to rebrand, right? No more Ghost Girl Marlie. It's just it's something else. You can't use your name. What would you rebrand into and why? You're
The
not
thing
allowed to be
is-
another ghost again.
Right?
You can't be undead. I guess that's too broad of a category to eliminate options.
I think. But first of all, I really have no desire to rebrand or anything. I'm really happy with my current persona and everything.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think if I did have the chance, it would maybe be something like aquatic themed, or at some point I was playing with the idea of an alien, but I feel like that's a little too generic at some point in a way. I don't know. It's not generic, but it feels like it's too easy to make something out of. But I feel like it would be cool to pick up like some aquatic creature. But I've seen a lot of people already be like a specific kind of like fish or something.
Yeah.
But I think it would be cool to try out something like that.
What type of like not you don't have to be specific, just like what type of aquatic creature would it be? Like a fish, a mermaid, a shark, or something? A whale?
Well, not a whale. But I love the idea of a mermaid, but I feel like it's also very generic. So I think I would like to maybe pick out like maybe even like a deep sea fish
Ooh,
or something.
anglerfish?
Like that would not maybe not anglerfish, but something like I've seen a lot of like jellyfish and whatever from like deep sea videos, and those look really, really cool. And I was like some really kind of a little obscure creature. Maybe not like a shrimp or anything, but something that's something that's a little closer to a fish than a jellyfish, and maybe something like that.
Okay. And then why specific something like that? Why
I feel like it would be easier to stand out when you're like a specific thing, because like if you think about it, like, oh, there's like a very specific fish. I'm going to Google this very specific fish, and then the random VTuber pops up. Or if you're like, oh, I'm going to Google clownfish, and then the clownfish VTuber is never going to be there.
You're just gonna find Nemo.
Maybe.
What would you do if then all of a sudden that animal gets added into Minecraft and suddenly everybody knows what the fuck it is? Like what happened with axolotls? Nobody knew what it was until it got added into Minecraft. And now everybody's in
I knew what it was
in
before it
love
got
with-
added into Minecraft.
Okay, you're the exception then, but a lot of people didn't know that axolotls were a thing until it got added into Minecraft, and now everybody knows what it is. What would you do in that case?
Well, if I had become the VTuber already before that update, it would be fine, because therefore I'm still original and unique.
Yeah.
But if I had to do it right after, I was like, ah, shit, now I look like I'm a trend chaser or something.
Okay. I like that answer. Then, the next question that I have for you is, why did you start making content? What got you into it?
I thought about this question a lot, actually, but the answer I came to is just because it's fun. And the reason why I had such a hard time thinking about it is because I was one of those, like, I've been creating content for, like, almost as long as I can remember. Because I was one of those kids that was, like, filming their dolls and making short movies out of that. Like, I've been creating some sort of content for, like, since forever. And I'm just like, why did I start doing that? I have no idea. It was just fun.
Are those videos still available on the internet?
Hell no. I don't think they're even saved anywhere anymore. Like, I was thinking about it, like if I could go and see them. But at the same time, I'm so afraid. There's one chance that they're, like, somewhere on my dad's old laptop save files.
Oh, damn.
And I do not want to go check them out. I would rather see that laptop die for real.
You
It may
hope that
even be
somebody
dead
spilled
already.
coffee on it.
Maybe.
If there's any chance of it being recovered, you want there to be none.
Yep, honestly.
I mean, I've still got some old videos that I made back in 2018 before VTubing was like a well-known thing, where I started out making YouTube videos on Fortnite Save the World, which is not Battle Royale. It's the PvE game mode.
Ah, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's what Fortnite originally was, and then Battle Royale became popular, and they made one out of what they had for the.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And yeah, those videos are unlisted, so if somebody finds the link somewhere, they can watch it. To my
That is a
disdain.
fair.
Because yeah, those videos are cringe as fuck.
I bet. I think it's always when you're starting out, something is really bad.
Oh yeah,
But-
definitely. Like, I don't want to go back to my very first, my debut stream, again, all the way back October 29th, 2020. Bruh,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't want to go back to then.
I also feel like, even though I feel that, especially about the, like, I feel like there's a certain cutoff line where I don't feel so much cringe anymore.
Yeah.
Because I think at some point, because I've been creating stuff for so long that at some point I just got over it. And there's a lot of stuff that I still look up to from like maybe even 2013 that I'm just like, oh, this was really cute. I'm happy I made this. I didn't create a lot of content with my voice and whatever, so that really probably affects it.
Oh yeah.
Because if I think about seeing like a kid, like a tiny kid playing with the dolls, that's extremely more cringe than like an A and B or something, right?
Definitely. Like, when
Yeah.
you just listen to yourself from back then, like, even if I go back now, 5 years, that's quite a long time ago. My voice has changed a lot
Absolutely.
because I've aged 5 years. And I've been out
Yeah.
of school for 3. No, 4. Wait. Is it 4? No, it's 3. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I discovered like okay, this might have been like maybe 3 years ago that I discovered some of the first videos I ever like published on the internet with my voice and whatever.
Yeah.
And those were originally like unlisted videos, and they just kind of got drowned within everything else that I was uploading. So I
Yeah.
kind of forgot about their existence for a few years, and then I went back into them and was like, what is this vocabulary that I'm even using? Like, it wasn't just that my voice was like more high pitched or something. It was also the vocabulary that was so weird.
How come? Have you, like, I've noticed that in your Twitter bio you say you speak English, Japanese, and Finnish.
Mhm.
So was English your second language at that point then?
Yes, the videos that I made back then, those were even in Finnish too. So that's why I was even more confused about my vocabulary back then. But also, there were some other videos that I made, like I think those first videos, they were like tutorials for like a specific program that I wanted to teach my friends how to use or something like that. But I think at some point I also might have made a tutorial in like English, and that's like one of the first times I ever recorded myself in English. And just 2 years later or something, I was listening to it. I was like, what the hell is this accent that I got in here?
How strong was the accent? Would you rate it out of 10?
I would say it's a 9. It wasn't the most strongest because I've always been good at English, but it was definitely way different than what it is today.
What would you say is the excuse me? What would you say is the strength of your accent now?
That's a hard question. I think I'm maybe more up to like I would say it's like a 2 or a 3, because there's a lot of people who come into my streams and are like, oh, you're Finnish? I think I've even fooled some people who are Finnish.
I mean, I could see it. I don't hear the Finnish that much.
Yeah, the Finnish is usually a
just like
very strong
accents.
accent.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
definitely. It doesn't help that it's such a weird fucking language.
It doesn't know.
As somebody who's started learning many languages, I do not want to touch Finnish.
That's a wise choice. I don't see many points to it. Only if you're like masochistic about learning languages, that's a good choice. Because
Yeah.
like nobody speaks the language, and there's not that much content available only in Finnish either. So it's like, what are you gonna learn out of that?
do the Finns mostly speak English there?
No, we speak Finnish, but we have so good, like the education system is so good that everyone is like at least moderately okay in English. That if
Okay.
someone just like if you're like England, if you're like foreigner, you go to Finland and you just, especially in the bigger cities, if you talk to a stranger in English, they're gonna be able to answer you. And I think I would argue, even in the countryside, you're probably going to find someone who's going to be able to like tell you directions somewhere.
At least.
Yeah,
No,
at least
'cause
everyone who's like under 60 is going to be able to do that.
Yeah. Because there, I know a couple words in Finnish, because there was this one comedian who once did a show where it's like, let me ask you the question: if somebody wants to learn a word and wants to learn some words in Finnish, are you gonna give them helpful words to learn?
No, I'm going to give them curse words.
Exactly. So he said he's been in Finland for about a week at that point, and he doesn't know many words. If there was an emergency, he can't call an ambulance, but he can say vesi si sa.
He's that. Yeah, got it.
That one. That one.
Right,
it's like
that's
he doesn't know how to say a phone, but he can say hilovitkutin.
Yep. Hilavitkutin.
Those are the type of words y'all teach people.
Definitely. I also know of someone, because someone came into my chat and they were like already like interacting with like Finnish streamers elsewhere, and they've been taught amberi, which means bucket, and that was like their highest peak Finnish knowledge. They just knew how to say bucket in Finnish.
See, I at least take it a step further. I can say vesi si sa.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. What's that translate to again? Is it like, from what I know, it's like the water pixie stuck in the elevator?
Yeah, it's like I would say it's more like a water gremlin or something like that.
Okay.
But and then they're like, because sihise is definitely a word for talking, but it's like him talking like this kind of talking.
Okay. Oh wait, so it's the water gremlin is speaking in the elevator.
Yeah, like actually it's in past tense, so they spoke in the
it's
whatever.
Elevator.
It's whatever.
Okay.
Minor details.
And then hilovitkutin is thingamajig.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. See, if I ever want to know what the thing is, then I can just be like the hilovitkutin.
Yes.
Actually, wait. There is another thing I know how to say in Finnish. Perkele.
There we go. That's the one I was expecting for the first place.
That means fuck, right?
Well,
Or what's perkele?
It's like, well, literally it means the devil.
The devil. Okay.
Yeah, as in the one that lives in hell and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's used similar to how fuck is used in English as a curse word.
Yeah, that's like how in Swedish I know jävla, and those things all of those swear words kind of tie in with the devil as well. It's like helvete, jävla.
Yeah, that's
you get satan.
Yeah, now that's more than I know, and I was studying Swedish in school. Remember shit.
Yeah, no, I watched a lot of PewDiePie. I like swearing in Swedish.
That explains it.
And there was a time when I went to a tourist trap down here, where we ran into this one Swedish guy, and I was like, you know what? I want to learn Swedish, and I learned Swedish for like a month on Duolingo.
You know, that's admirable.
But yeah, shall we move on to the next question? Or
Sure.
actually, wait. What's your favorite word to teach someone when they ask for a word in Finnish? While we're still on this topic.
I think it's first and foremost it's the curse words.
Yeah.
And usually at that point someone in chat is gonna say something funnier. But
Okay.
I think I recently taught like the differences in like hi and whatever in Finnish, because there's a bazillion words you can say hi in. And my favorite way to say hi in Finnish is terve, which it practically has the same kind of like if you can say howdy in English, and that's kind of like, oh, that sounds funny.
So terve is like howdy.
Yeah, except you don't think about cowboys when you hear it, but it's like a similar kind of funny way.
What do you?
And you can make it even funnier by saying tervehdys, which is like it's like a howdy but longer, and you sound more fancy.
Just add a deuce
Yeah.
at the end.
Tervehdys, yeah.
Okay. How would I spell that for when I go into your stream next time when you're live and I want to say howdy, or yeah.
I typed it in the chat. That's easier.
Thank you. Oh, that's not.
There you
that
go.
looks different. Tervehdys.
Tervehdys, yeah.
Tervehdys. Okay. Yeah, that's one confusing thing I have about I know about Finnish. The fucking Y's. Why are the Y's and U?
It's well, basically they are, because in English it's more like a consonant, but in Finnish it's a vowel all the time. 100% of the time it's a vowel, and the vowel has a set specific sound, and it's just U.
It's just U.
Yeah, it's always U.
Hmm.
I think it makes more sense than the Y's in English sometimes. Well, maybe not the Y's. There's a lot of other letters that are a lot more confusing in English. But basically...
No, I'll just take it. Yeah, no, English is a fucked up language.
It is. Because you can type, or like, because in English you have words that are like, they're spelled in a certain way, and you wouldn't know how to pronounce them unless you've heard it before from somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Finnish there's none of that. There's like maybe 1 or 2 exceptions to that rule. And even those are like pretty easy to learn.
Okay. Yeah, no, maybe I'll tackle Finnish in the future. Otherwise, I'll just stick to my Finnish. Is it pop? I think it's pop. I don't know. I like listen. I have a couple Finnish songs that I like listening to.
Maybe it's. I don't even know what it's categorized as.
I don't know. It's like pop, house, and like those types of genres.
Yeah, that's probably the normal pop, I suppose.
Yeah, just in Finnish.
Yeah.
But alright, so then let me ask you, so what is your preferred type of content to make? What is your go-to thing for streams?
Well, I stream a lot of games. It's easy. But I think just in general, I just prefer any kind of video editing. So if there's some project that I could use video editing in, I do like that, but I haven't really come up with a lot of those projects. Because I feel like it would require a lot of time and thinking, and I haven't really put the time into thinking about all that. So it's just, okay, I will stream Splatoon for the millionth time. Let's go.
Would you say Splatoon's your favorite game to stream then?
Yes, it is, absolutely.
Is it? Okay. Then, follow-up question. What's something that you've not done yet that you want to in the future?
I guess I do want to make some kind of like a bigger project, but I'm not sure about what kind of bigger project. Oh, and also a subathon. I'm thinking about doing that for my 2nd anniversary. I haven't done one before.
Yo. A lot of people I've noticed that there are so many subathons nowadays.
Yeah, it's like a common thing, and that's why I'm like, everyone is doing this. I want to do this too.
Well, I mean, even I did one last year on YouTube. It was an actual subathon.
Oh, yeah, okay. Interesting. That's one way to do it for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. But once I get partner, then I'll do a membership-a-thon.
Yeah.
That's a lot more wordy than it is on Twitch.
Definitely.
Welcome to my 3rd year anniversary membership-a-thon.
You know what? I do like the word though. That sounds really silly.
Membathon. Yeah, that sounds better.
Sounds better.
Membathon
No, it's funnier when it's longer.
Is it?
Yeah.
Or
well, my opinion maybe isn't the best opinion out there, but I like it when it's longer and more weird and annoying.
Or you know what? Maybe we'll change it from subathon to supathon instead of a donathon. So that's like, you know, a super chat.
Yeah. That's fun. That's fun. Yeah.
But I'd rather get more members than super chats, if we're gonna be honest.
Fair.
Granted, the super chats will probably pay more. I don't know. We'll see how down bad I am or how strapped for cash I am at that point.
Yeah, but I think what really counts is more the thought behind it, and like, because especially I was planning on just not really expecting like huge amounts of money to be thrown at me, but I was more like just excited to do some kind of like so kind of like a thing, because everyone usually has like, okay, if we reach this amount of subscriptions, then I'm going to do this thing. And I'm kind of excited to try out that kind of thing.
Yeah, I tried that. I just set my goals way too high.
Understandable.
Yeah. So, no, I know by now, like, have realistic goals when it comes to it. Like, it's good to have stretch goals, but you do also want to have easily attainable goals.
Yeah. I was also thinking, like, if I do make like a stretch goal, it's gonna be one of those things that I absolutely hate doing, but I'm just gonna put it there just in case someone's feeling crazy enough to just suddenly give me like $500 or some shit.
Yeah. I had that too. I had one where I would eat another one of those Samyang 2x spicies. Those noodles, they're fucking awful. I hate them. They're like, the thing that I hate the most is it's not even spicy, it's just hot. Like,
Oh yeah, that's definitely some spicy food.
Yeah, no, there's no flavor to that spice. It's just heat. It's pure heat, and I don't like it because it just burns. It's not a good burn or a tasty burn. It's just burn. It just sets your tongue on fire, and that's it. It kills your taste buds.
It does, and to be honest, I actually have a friend who, like, I don't know if it's that specific brand of spicy noodles, but I think they eat at least like it like maybe four times a week at least, and I'm just like, okay.
You know what's wrong with them? Their taste buds are completely fucked. They can't taste shit. If they had COVID and they said, no, I can't taste shit, that's normal. It's not COVID. That was because they eat too many of those damn spicy noodles.
To be honest, I think they were doing that before COVID became a thing.
Exactly. They wouldn't even know.
They wouldn't.
Their taste buds are just dead.
Likely.
But now, let me ask you, so how often do you stream? What's your usual schedule looking like?
Yeah, I think my goal is to stream like 4 times a week, because I personally find that easy to manage, and I also get to have a lot of time where I can just work on university homework and everything like that. But sometimes I go for 5 even sometimes, and then there's a couple of weeks where I do less because I'm more focused on specific university assignments and whatever.
Okay. And then what do you do when you're not streaming? Let's say you have an off day.
I'm most likely just watching anime or eating chips, or I don't know. That's like that's like the first thing I think of. Okay, if I want to relax, what am I gonna do? That's my go-to thing. But
anime and snacks.
Exactly.
That's a mood.
But it's also likely that I'm just working on some other projects that are not related to my VTuber channel or whatever.
Okay. And then follow-up question on that, what's your favorite anime? I'm gonna take a guess. Is it Macross?
Go on. Yes!
See, I watched a specific stream the other day. Or yesterday, I watched the VOD. Your most recent one with the unboxing, and I only saw a bit of it, you unboxing the first figure.
Yeah,
and I figured,
I
figured, pun not intended, that Macross was your favorite anime.
It is, for sure. And like, you wouldn't even have to pick that specific stream. I talk about it like at least once a week anyway, so you would have had a high chance of finding it out anyway. Eventually it would have happened. Alright, then what would you say is your number 2 and 3? Number 2, Aikatsu, which is an idol anime with like 174 episodes or something like that. Yeah. It's very good. It's slice of life. And it's good. Everyone watch Aikatsu if you've not seen Aikatsu. And the only when I think 3, of when it comes to idols are Oshinoko. That's fair. I know it's not a genre for everyone, but if you want to give the idol genre a try and you don't dislike slice of life, Aikatsu is the best I can offer you. Right. Otherwise, watch Macross. Macross is not slice of life, and it's a lot of other stuff at the same time. What is Macross? All right, Macross. I heard it's like an idol mecha. that's the 2 parts of the triangle, because Macross has a whole theme with like triangles, which is most of all, love triangles. So a big part of Macross is the love triangles, and the triangle can kind of be interpreted as the love, the romance, and then there's the mecha, and then there's the music aspect. So there's a lot of different entries in the series because last year or this year was the 40th anniversary. So it's been going on for a long, 40th.
Jesus, that's older than some schools in my area.
I bet. So the big thing that Macross starts to do is to involve popular music at the time and mecha and then the romance. So you've got stuff like, well, idols are really popular right now. So that's what the newest series is about. We've got an idol group in Macross Delta. And then when we go back at 10 years or so, a little more than that now, I guess, there will be Macross Frontier. And that's more about the solo idols, like idols, more like musicians in general. So we got someone like, well, quite literally one of the characters in Macross Frontier is inspired by Britney Spears. So we got that kind of music going on in there. And
Britney, bitch.
Right. And then we go even further down. We've got J-Rock and then we got some kind of like general pop thing going on. I suppose that's the main things.
Okay.
Out there.
So they go through different genres through different time periods.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, they also tend to pick up just really relevant topics in general. Even though I know Macross is always tangling on relevant topics, I was kind of surprised because the latest movie that was released 2 years ago, or I think it's a year and a half or something like that. It one of the main antagonists was an AI, and I'm like, you know what? That's really relevant nowadays. And I was like, Macross does a lot of that kind of thing where it looks like what's popular in popular culture, and then it reimagines that as being popular in 50 years into the future because it's sci-fi, of course.
Yeah. What is it now? About 50 years from now? Wait,
yeah, basically.
Does that mean we're 10 years away from being in the first Macross season?
Actually, we're 10 years into it because the first one was taking place in 2012.
Oh shit! Did the world end? Did they follow the Mayan calendar?
I mean, the Earth did entirely blow up, but they had some people in space so they could repopulate it again.
So they did follow the Mayan calendar. Got it.
Probably.
Dude, it feels so weird knowing that whole thing when the world was going to end in 2011 fucking happened over 10 years ago. Or did I say 2011? I meant 2012.
Yeah.
That's been over a decade ago.
Definitely.
The time's
I think
gone
someone
by
said in the
so
chat
fast.
that SDF took place in 2008. I think it might have been that too, but there's also the prequel that takes place in the 90s too, which was released in 2004. Macross, what is it? Zero? That one is a prequel.
They went into the past. What?
They did, because they wanted to explain what the heck is this. Because okay, we're going deep into the Macross lore now. Okay, but
the Macross lore is deeper than both of our lores combined.
It is.
To be expected, to be honest.
Yeah, but so basically humanity, and there's also humanity is not the only human race in existence, or intelligent human and humanoid race, I suppose. And the whole thing about the original Macross is that we discovered these gigantic humans, basically, that have and they have green skin and whatever, but they're basically human still, but they're just huge, and they have their technology to turn tiny if they want to. But the thing is that the big lore is that there's this kind of even though humanity and these Zentradi, the big race, they exist and whatever, but they've actually got this creator kind of people who created both humanity and that kind of race and every other race in the universe that exists right now. And so they go back, I don't even know how many tens of thousands of years back, but that kind of creator, kind of intelligent class of quote unquote people or whatever existed once. And so the prequel dabbles in on what kind of like ruins they found on Earth of that civilization and whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, and when they discover the ruins of that civilization is how humanity discovers the technology to go into space, basically.
And stop their extinction. What caused the world to blow up?
The other race
Okay.
decided to go into war.
That's why they have mecha.
Because so their whole thing is that they like war, they like stuff like, okay, they have segregated like gender going on too, so they're like, okay, no women in our ship, and we also go into war with our own kind because they're women. That's why we fight them too.
They're a warmongering species.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And humanity is supposedly like the opposite of that, where humanity is all about culture. And here's where the music part comes in, because these war people, they don't have any kind of culture. They don't have music or anything. So humanity, I mean, this is spoilers, but to be fair, it's the whole plot thing going on in all the other series. So even if you haven't seen the original, you've realized this like 10 seconds into the like recap part of the new series starting. So the whole thing is that humanity wins because we have music, and basically the aliens are so shocked by what the heck is this, and they just stop shooting basically, and then they become like, oh my god, this idol girl, she's really cute. What is this? I'm feeling emotions. I have emotions. That's basically how humanity wins and how they didn't get killed off.
So idols save the world. Got it.
Yeah, that's it.
The power of music and friendship.
Music and love, to be specific.
Alright, and then your third favorite anime, what would you say is that?
Oh god, I have to look up like my anime list for my favorites. Because I only really think about those two as something worth mentioning.
Okay.
But, I mean, I do love a lot of anime. I've seen way too many of them. Let's see. Alright, do you want something predictable, or do you want more of like a little obscure series?
What's a little both? Okay,
then let's go top 4.
That one, top 4, yes.
Alright, for something that's really,
Do the
really
one first.
predictable, that would be Puella Maki Madoka Magica.
Oh, okay.
That's everyone knows it. Everyone probably, hopefully, has seen it. It's phenomenal.
I know of it. I haven't seen it.
Okay, you should. It's really, really good.
Listen, I'm only catching up with. I only caught up with my dress-up darling like 2 days ago.
Okay, but that's way less important than Puella Magi. Like literally, some random seasonal anime from a year ago is not as important as an anime that's remembered 10 years later.
I'm still catching up with Gintama as well. I first.
Okay, Gintama is fair. Gintama is fair. But hold on, I think Madoka only has like 12 episodes anyway. It does. It's 12 episodes. Literally, that's so easy to binge. Like, okay. I do give people the excuse of not getting into Macross or Aikatsu because those have fucking hundreds of episodes and movies and everything. It's like, fine, you don't have to get into it. I understand you don't have the time. However, a 12-episode series, you should have the time for that if you like anime.
There's no way that Madoka Magica is just one season, though. Just one season.
The original story, which can be just consumed as it is just 12 episodes. But there is, I think, one more movie you can watch after that if you want to see more of the characters and know what really happens. There's 2 recap movies, and then one of the Rebellion is what the movie is called. That's the movie where you get a kind of a sequel, but it's still just one more movie on top of that.
That's so weird. I swear it would have been more.
I mean, there's spin-off series. There's a lot of spin-off series, but I don't think... Not a lot of them have an anime, but there's a lot of spin-off mangas, I think. And then there was the whole Magia Record game, and that one has a anime that has like, I think 2 seasons or something like that. 3 seasons, maybe? I forgot, but I've seen it. But regardless, it's not as good as the original series is. Which can be easily consumed in 12 episodes in one movie. And it's phenomenal.
Aight. And then the obscure one.
Alright, that one will be Shinsekai Yori, or From the New World, which is a psychological horror anime from also 2012 apparently. Because Boilamagi is also 2012 or whatever, but no, never mind, 2011, but it's very similar time-wise. But basically, this is one of those series that's really good if you just jump into it blind. But basically, it's about it's not sci-fi, but it's in the future. I guess it's like showing off a kind of a utopia where humanity has learned how to use superpowers, but at the same time they are living in a very kind of like rural setting in a way that there's no big cities or anything anymore, and it just feels like everyone kind of learns how to use magic when they like turn 12 or something like that. And basically the whole anime's premise is it's about seeing this one girl, Saki, grow up and see how she, first of all, when she gets the magic, and then see what happens around her to her friends and everything like that. But it's not about Saki herself. It's a lot more about the world building. What's really good about that series, and the psychological horror that builds up when you start realizing that, hold on, there's something wrong with this world.
Okay. It's got some underlying looming threat.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's not like Gakko Gurashi where the first episode is like, oh, everything is happy and zombies attack. It's not of that.
I've watched Gakko Gurashi. Yeah, that's a good show though.
It's a good show. It's a good show, but it's like not like that at all. Where it's just different, where you have the looming threat kind of constantly build up, and the main, like, because it's from the point of the view of the kids basically. As the kids grow up, eventually they end up to becoming like 25 by the end of the series.
Yeah,
it's like, I think it's 24 episodes, so there's 25, but basically the same. Yeah. But basically you end up seeing things happen to them, and because they're kids, they don't understand the world around them, so you kind of end up being in that same perspective where you're just kind of bored into the world, and you're just like, what the heck is this world? Yeah. And as you grow older, you become smarter, and you start to realize there's something weird going on, and at some point your classmates start disappearing, and you're like, what is this? And why did I start forgetting about this one person that was here a little while ago?
Just Monica.
Yeah, a little bit. That is psychological horror. Exactly. It makes you think, and I guess there's some monsters in the series too, but it's not about the monsters that makes it scary. It's about the feeling that you get from being in this very enclosed world that has a lot of going on in it.
Okay. The name does sound familiar. I'll check it out eventually when I have time.
I'll link you to my Animalist page because I have it open anyway.
Yeah, no, I did look it up on Anilist.
Fair.
I'm an Anilist user. I've gotten tired of Mal.
I mean, to be fair, I've never really given it a thought, but that's mostly because I'm fine with my Animalist because it seems to list everything that I need, and I'm so used to the UI.
Yeah, no, that's fair. No, I just like the look of Analyst more, and they give your stats easier. And my my manga reader that I use has built-in integration with Analyst. So
yeah, that's convenient.
Yeah, so I can just add the list or add the series to the tracker on the reader, and then as I finish a chapter, it automatically updates my Anilist, and I don't have to go back every time and be like, oh, okay, yeah, so today I read the first 10 chapters of Oshinoko, and then like 2 days ago I read the most recent chapter of Omniscient Reader, and it's like, okay, now I read this and then that and then da.
Yeah, fair. I mean, to be fair, I don't really use it like, okay, I watched one episode, I could put it down there. I tend to do it where, especially with anime, I just put them once I finish the series or the season, I just put them there. I may put them as in watching when I started, so I don't forget about it. Yeah. And then once it's finished, I mark it as done, and then I give it a rating. But with manga, I don't think I update my manga list at all, almost, but that's also because I don't read manga digitally. I grew up reading it physically, and I'm just so used to it that I can't switch at this point.
See, I never did. And we've... being in South Africa, there's not that much when it comes to, like, anime or just, like anime or manga memorabilia or just stuff that you can get.
Yeah,
Like for
I believe
example,
that.
recently I've noticed that some game stores, so that would be stuff like our equivalent of like GameStop and those things. They would have started stocking more merch. And then you get some other stores that are just general gadget stores. They would have the biggest selection of like anime figures or something. But we don't have
Nice.
like a what do you call it? We don't have like a store that's dedicated to anime and manga stuff. Otherwise, you get like comic book stores, but they're focused on comics. They'll have the popular shonen manga. Even then, they won't have everything.
I think in the case of Finland, we also don't really have many specific like anime or manga stores specifically. I think there's a couple in like Helsinki, the main what is it, the capital city or something. Some of the bigger cities maybe have some specific stores, but more than that, and then we do have the like comic or like tabletop stores. For some reason in Finland, in tabletop game stores have a lot of manga in them. But more than that, the main way I personally was exposed to manga was, well, first of all, because my library had a lot of it that was living next to, and I was even as someone who lived in Finland, I was very kind of fortunate to be living next to a library that had a lot of manga in it. But that wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for how easy it is to distribute manga specifically in Finland. Because in Finland, you can find manga in like your local grocery store. Because they would have, stores would have like we would have like, your normal comics in there, like something like Donald Duck in there. And then you would have like the lifestyle magazines or whatever. There will be a couple of the recent manga releases in Finnish in there too. Specifically the Finnish translations. If you wanted to get the English manga translations, then you would have to go to like a more specific store. But Finnish manga releases can be found in like your ordinary convenience stores even.
What the fuck? Finns are like next level. What the hell?
It is a little bit.
Imagine going into the nearest Spar and seeing fucking manga on a little shelf there. What? Especially not translated into anything other than English. Because we've got 11 official languages down here.
Oh god, yeah, that might be making it a lot more difficult, considering that Finland is just basically one official language. And Swedish is official too, but like people speak in like a couple specific areas, so it's not relevant for us to. Oh, okay, I've seen like Swedish manga being sold at like secondhand online web stores. So like, okay, they probably have imported them at some point to Finland or something, but it's mostly just Finnish manga. But even then, even though you can find it very easily, it's also very limited to what they are translating currently. I think there's only one company anymore who does it nowadays. But I think at best we used to have like 3 companies working at the same time publishing manga. But so I think the golden age was literally like maybe 10 years ago or something. But nowadays it's kind of in a drought kind of. What is it at the moment? So right now, if you go to a store, you would see, okay, there's My Hero Academia.
Of course.
What else do they have translated? And then there's the occasional couple mangas that have been publishing for like longer than 5 years that get like 1 volume once a year or something like that you would find occasionally, I think. But I think that's about it.
I've not been in the library in quite a bit. And I've not been in the library since I've started getting into anime and manga. Well, anime I got into in my final year in high school, that was 2019. And manga I only really started reading when I stopped watching anime, and that was like somewhere last year.
Right. See, for me, the exposure was originally the Finnish manga because, well, my school was it was in the same building, my elementary school, as the library. So every kid would like weekly go there and pick up a book that they would read or something like that. That was like the thing. So eventually we would see, because the manga, like the manga shelf, it was like very close to all the stuff made for kids or like youngsters or whatever. So we would see it. And then at some point I would just pick it up and start reading it at that point. And I would not get into anime until a few years later because I did not speak English very well at all at that point. Because anime was a lot harder to find and finish. I later discovered that the DVD section of like kids movies and whatever had some anime mixed in. Like Fruits Basket, I have no idea they had like done a finished DVD release for that. I was like, what? No, not a dub. It was just subtitle, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
But even then, like, because those were kind of obscurely mixed in with like some Disney movies and whatever, so I didn't really ever go look in because it was just like a huge DVD shelf, and you would have to like look into it and okay, what is it here?
Yeah, and I mean,
so I only got into anime later on.
Yeah, and if you have like anime mixed in between all of the old animated Disney, it's like well, they all kind of look the same.
They kind of do.
The art style just looks a bit different from the other. Like put the old Lion King next to fucking Studio Ghibli.
Oh yeah. I think I would have seen Ghibli movies on the TV occasionally though. Yeah, I think they occasionally showcase though, because well, Ghibli movies are just as loved or beloved or whatever, like Disney movies. So sometimes there would be a screening on TV, and I would see it like that.
Yeah, I probably would have gotten into anime at an earlier age if we had DSTV, which is like a cable TV, because on well, I mean, we did have it, but we had some limited packets. So some channels were unavailable, but like on, I don't remember which channel it was, but I almost want to say it was Cartoon Network. They would air like Dragon Ball and Naruto on TV, on satellite TV here on DSTV. But the thing is, we never watched Cartoon Network. We only like watched Disney Plus or Nickelodeon or those stuff.
Fair.
So
I think
I missed the one channel that had anime on it.
Nice. I think for me, the first actual anime exposure was definitely, it was either Pokemon or Moomins, because well, you never think about the Moomins as like an anime, but I later learned that the most popular TV animation series is done in Japan originally as an anime, so that technically counts as an anime. I'm like, what? But other than that, Pokemon is definitely what I would see as a kid, and that would be dubbed too.
Actually, yeah, we did have Pokemon for quite a while because my brother was and still is a big Pokemon fan. But I never got into it, and I've still not gotten into it. It just doesn't interest me as much as it does him. So it's like when I thought anime, I thought Pokemon, and I was like, I'm not interested in Pokemon.
Fair. I think I got into Pokemon because we had that whole culture of trading the cards at my school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, my brother too,
I wasn't into the series
he didn't
first.
do that much of the trading. He did more of the collecting.
Yeah, I think that's about the same that it was for a lot of the kids. We never played the game. We always knew that there's some kind of game in existence that you can play with these cards, but nobody fucking knew how to play the game. So we were all just trading the cards and be like, okay, this thing has HP. HP is like a cool number. If the HP is big, therefore this Pokemon is big. And I used to be so dumb that I had, like, I think I bought a card pack and I got Regigigas in there, which is a legendary. I got it out of the card pack. And I just traded it out because I'm like, I don't like how this thing looks. I don't know what it is. I probably traded it for like a
10 years later, you kicked yourself.
You're like, Pokemon.
Fuck, I can't believe I traded the Regigas for fucking Eevee.
I mean, to be fair, I don't regret it because it was just like a fun thing as a kid that you did. It was just like, it doesn't really matter. It wasn't even shiny or anything, so I'm like, me.
Yeah. No, my brother got a tin for one of his birthdays, and since then he like tried collecting them. But the thing is, cards are always so fucking expensive here. Like anything that comes from overseas is just hella expensive. So
I can see that.
Yeah, but like a tin would cost something like 500 rand, which is a lot. In terms of, if I convert that to euros, it's like divided by 20, I think. No, that's pound. Euros is like 19, so we'll just go with 20. So that would be something like 20 euros, probably.
that actually sounds pretty similar to what I would imagine them to cost. Like
Yeah.
maybe a little more, but not that much different. And I don't
Yeah.
think I ever got like, okay, I think one Christmas I got like a big set that had a lot of cards, and it had like 3 coins in it or something like that.
Yeah.
Like there's the big sets. I once got that for Christmas, but
Yeah, that's
other than that,
probably
I
one of
only
the
got like
tins.
single packs.
Yeah. No, we never got more tins. He bought a couple booster packs a couple years ago. But otherwise, yeah, we mainly had like that one tin, and then neither of us knew how to play the game either, so he would like make up rules, and then we'd just go with the flow. And that's the only interaction that I've had with playing Pokemon.
Right, that reminds me of one bullshit game that I was playing with one boy in my class. So he had this game that he would just have all of his Pokemon cards in a pack, and he would shuffle them.
Yeah.
And then the other kid would also have their pack, and they would shuffle it.
Yeah.
And then they would pick up the first Pokemon card, and whichever had a bigger HP would win. And then the bullshit part about it, his rules was that, okay, now I get to take your losing card to my pack.
What? What?
Yeah, that was the rules this one boy was playing with. I was like, okay, I'm not playing with you.
What? And then he keeps that card.
Yeah, he can steal the other kid's card as long as he wins the game.
What the fuck?
That's how brutal it was when nobody
that sounds
knew.
like gambling.
It really was,
That's
honestly. It
gambling
really
right
was.
there. That kid's probably like running a casino or something right now.
Probably. To be fair, he did have a lot bigger pack than a lot of the other kids.
Well, yeah,
Like, I
'cause
don't
you
know, it
kept
was like
taking
maybe-
people's cards,
Yeah.
and he
It was like
just
maybe
give
10
away the
centimeters.
weakest ones.
Yeah, probably.
Like, who? There's no strategy in that. It's literally just
No.
luck, and
is.
you don't really lose your strongest cards because, well, they're the strongest cards. The chances that somebody else has something that's like much stronger than it.
Yeah, I think this kid was smart, but I was smarter for declining back then.
yeah. You were smart. You saw through the con.
Yeah.
My man was doing the long con. But we've been on for about an hour and 13 minutes, so I'm quickly going to take a short break before we get back to the questions. So if you guys have enjoyed this episode so far, make sure to drop a like down below, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and, you know, all the fun stuff. If you are able to listen to this on the audio-only platforms, make sure to drop a follow or subscribe or whatever it is called on any of those platforms, because the show is currently available on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and Anchor FM. Albeit it is quite outdated. We're still on episode 26 at the time of recording. But don't worry, once this season of FNV ends, I'm going to work on making sure that the audio-only podcast gets updated. So, yeah. Otherwise, make sure you also go check out the site for anything to do with the show. You can find it at fnv.crd.co. It is in the link down below in chat, on my bio on Twitter, where you should also go check me out. It's also on the site. Everything's there. Anything to do with the show, anything to do with me, it's there. Otherwise, the show won't be able to go on without guests. So make sure you go check out my wonderful guest here tonight, Ghost Girl Marlie on Twitter and Twitch. It's spelled exactly how you would think it is. It's just Ghost Girl Marlie. That is Marlie.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind your name?
Behind what?
Behind your name?
Oh, name.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If there is any.
I think I was more so just going through one of those name generators, and I was like, okay, this seems cool. What if I spelled it this way? Is this a proper way to spell this name? And then I picked it out there, and I was like, you know what? Let's add Ghost Girl, because that sounds catchy. Ghost Girl Marlie, that's easy to remember.
Yeah, it is quite easy to remember. So, yeah, her links are also down in the description and chat, in the show notes, it's everywhere. But with that, the next question that I have for you is, what is your biggest weakness in VTubing and or content creation? So this is something that is content creation specific that you are struggling with.
I mean, I was thinking of something that does affect content creation, but it's not very specific.
Oh, okay, you can
that
go
fine?
with that, yeah.
All right. So my biggest disadvantage is absolutely the fact that I'm an introvert, I have social anxiety, and because of that, it took me over a year to do my first collab.
Oof.
and overall, I'm just really bad when it comes to like, well, not like marketing myself, but like finding connections. That's that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Network.
Because networking, yeah, that's the word. Like something about it is just. Well, it's easy to understand when you say, "Oh, I have social anxiety. That's why I never go to talk to people."
Yeah.
But like, even though it's like so easily explained, it's still such a big thing, and I don't think a lot of people realize how big of an impact it really has on your content creation. Because if you get to know people who do a lot of content, like even if you don't necessarily like collab with them, you can still like find a lot of opportunities you wouldn't find otherwise.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I feel like the biggest thing, like that's an issue, is probably that, because that's something that I actually find really difficult, and it's like I don't know if I'm ever gonna get super amazing at it. When on the other hand, if it's something like I don't know, like singing or something, I'm not terrible at it by any means at this point, but even if I was, it's something that I can like gradually get better at if I just keep trying. And I feel like something like being introvert, social anxiety is something I can improve on, but I can never get good at it, you know?
Okay. Then, the next question is, what keeps you going and keeps you motivated for making content? So, well, this can be rephrased as what keeps you from burning out.
I actually don't have a proper answer for this because I've just kept on doing content for so long that I think I would actually just go insane if you like took away my computer, took away like even art supplies, everything. I'm just like, I'm gonna go crazy because I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do with my life if I can't do some kind of content. like I have no answer. I don't know. I think I'm insane.
Honestly, I feel that. Like I don't like, even if I'm not VTubing, I'm still creating content in some ways, where I do rigging, I do art, I do graffiti, not actual like IRL, like I do digital graffiti, and even then, if all of those creative aspects of my stuff are gone, my father's got a videography business where we shoot school sports and all that. So it's like, even then, that's still content creation.
It is.
And I help out there. So, yeah.
I think when it comes to like, how do you not get burned out? I think my answer to that is that I do so much different things that I keep it diverse enough.
Variety is the spice of life.
Yeah, there's a lot of variety, and that's why I don't get so bored out of it, or I get burned out. I move on to different kinds of projects. I do different kinds of video content. You know. Sometimes I do the funny thing of just doing, let's make an AMV for funsies. What could go wrong about it? And then I just do that, and after that, I'm just so energized to keep working on the things that I used to work on.
Yeah. All right, and then, what's the biggest hurdle you've had to overcome as a VTuber? Since you've already said the social anxiety part, I'm gonna veto that and say something different.
Yeah, I feel like I've not overcome the social anxiety yet.
Oh, okay.
Even though being here today is like one part of like going up on that ladder, finding maybe some kind of a top up there.
I'm glad I can help a bit.
Yeah, but to be fair, I was anxious about this. I was like, oh god, should I cancel it? I don't know.
You were gonna cancel on me.
Well, I wouldn't have done it last minute or anything like that, but
Oh, don't worry. If you were gonna cancel on me last minute, I'd have you organize me another guest. That's how I've been doing it recently, because I've had too many last minute cancellations where I'm like, now I need to scramble for a guest in a day, where I'm just like, okay, if you need to cancel, you need to get me another guest. You need to get me someone I can get on in your place.
Right, but I would never do that to anything that I promised, because I don't know. I feel so strongly about what would happen like I don't know. I think it's just being an empath. That's the meme, but I think that's literally what it is. Where I'm like, I can imagine myself in the other person's shoes, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I have to go on the thing and do it, even if it sucks.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna suck even more for the other person. I would hate myself for making their day suck like that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I also get that feeling because I'm like, if I say I'm committed to doing something, then it's like it's an obligation to go through with it. Is how I feel.
Yeah.
Unless it's like not possible.
Yeah.
Like if something like really came up and it's like I can't go through with it. But if you're just like not feeling it, then or if I'm not feeling it, then I'll be like, no, I'll make myself fucking feel it.
Exactly. But I guess when it comes to like a bigger hurdle or something that I had to get over. Now, this is where I would love to come up and say something like, oh, I had a hate, right? But I handled it right. Because like I would love, like I feel like that would be an easy example, but I've not had any kind of like huge issues with anything like haters related. And I was like, that would be easy to talk about.
I've not gotten one hate DM and I feel left out.
Yeah, me. Exactly. I'm like, where are the people who are being creepy in DMs? Like the worst person I ever got. Yeah, the worst I ever got was someone who was like, their name was like Call of Duty or some bullshit in Twitch, and they were like, hey, I think you're beautiful. And I'm like, okay, shut up. And then they stopped talking. I was like, hey, you can try a little harder.
Go try a bit harder. Simon, you're not gonna give me a hate DM. Because if you give it, I'm gonna cry.
Right.
Simon, I like you and I trust your words.
And also, boo, miss. Boo.
Boo. But okay. Then, what would you say are your goals with VTubing and content creation? We can make this in a way, like it can either be abstract goals, like stretch goals for the future with no date on them, or we can say, since we're almost halfway through the year, you can be like, what are your end of year goals? Or you can do both, or however.
Right. I think I set one goal for this year. I was like, okay, I'm gonna release 5 covers. And I was like, okay, that's an easy thing to achieve, and I could go over it. So that's like the general kind of goal I have for like things that I do. Because I mean, I was also thinking about setting like some kind of goal, like, oh, I want to hit 5K followers this year. But like, those are a very, very kind of dodgy. How would I say? It's like a little bit of a scary thing to like make your goal, because it's not up to you. You don't decide that fully, at least. It's not fully up to you. But when it comes to like something like making a cover, that's fully on you. So I have the full control over actually achieving that goal. So I like to set goals that I can actually guarantee I can achieve or something like that. So that's the thing that
realistic goals.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can agree with that. Like my goal for last year, at the beginning of last year, I was at 300 subs, and my goal was 1K. I managed to get to, was it 1.1 by the end of the year? I think so. And now I'm at 1.3. My goal for the end of the year is 2.
Right.
Well, my goal for the end of the year is partner. Hopefully, we're so fucking close. Which, no, by the way, this is a call to action for the people watching here. If you don't mind, go watch the old videos here, the old interviews here on YouTube. I really need those hours before May comes along. I'm going to lose a lot of hours in May.
Oh no.
So if you don't mind, just even if you're just watching like 10 minutes of it and then muting it, but that would help out.
Definitely, that's one way to always support your favorite creator, to go watch the VODs and whatever.
Just lurking. Watch the VODs. Go to the what do you call it? Comment just on old VODs, something random. We're just like, hey, I enjoyed this episode. Thanks for making it, or whatever the fuck. Like, you know, any comments, any engagement with it boosts its reach a tiny bit.
Yeah, exactly.
So, hey, that helps. But okay, then Okay. Do you have any goals that aren't VTubing specific,
Ah,
but still
I guess
content creation wise?
okay, content creation. Now that's even harder. Because I was like, okay, I want to graduate from university.
filtered it.
That's a goal.
Y'all, she said she wants to graduate. Oh no.
University, not VTubing. Sorry, I said the trigger word.
You said the trigger word. You said the G word. How can you? There are
That's
3
it.
G's you're allowed to say, and not that one.
You're
The
right.
main
You're
3
right.
G's
Sorry
are
about
gaslight, global, gatekeep, no graduate.
that. True. But I guess none VTubing related, but still content creation. I guess I just want to become a good singer. That's like a thing I've been thinking about a lot recently, especially because I've started getting more confident in my singing. Because even though I did sing a little bit when I was a kid, I had like no training whatsoever, and it was just like in school sometimes, and like it
Yeah.
definitely did not sound good. And I kind of realized that in middle school, like, oh, my singing sucks. Oh well. And then I think it was only really about maybe 3-4 years ago that I started, like, even though I knew my singing sucked, I still sang a lot to myself. And that
Practice.
really helped, because by the time that I started VTubing like 2 years ago, I was pretty decent at it, and I was like, you know what, I can make content out of this, even though I kind of suck or I'm not good, it's still listenable. Like well, my friend who's very honest with his words was like saying that it's not the most horrible thing he's listened to. So I'm like, you know what, that's worth trying out. So I've been still singing, and I've been publishing the covers, and I'm like, you know what, I'm getting better, and I'm liking where I'm coming in the end. And so it's kind of like a long-term goal to just get better and get good and so on.
And then how has VTubing made it easier for you to attain any of the goals you've mentioned now?
Well, first of all, VTubing has kind of put me on a schedule, or like, because I told myself I would make a schedule and I will follow it, and I like following schedule actually. I'm a good person when it comes to scheduling my stuff, and because of that, I've also just actively put time into singing. For example, maybe not like, okay, I'm going to practice for 1 hour every Tuesday, nothing like that, but but something where I'm thinking, okay, well, I want to release something singing related, like maybe like a random singing practice thingy every couple weeks, maybe an actual cover every few months. And that kind of has kept me singing, and it has helped me because there's some kind of a rhythm to it, so I keep doing it.
Okay. And then the last question that I have for you before we get into the Q&A, which, by the way, if there are any of you here who have burning questions that you want to ask Marlie, or me, or us both, then if you look at the top of chat, there's a little blue box that says, ask your questions from Marlie here. If you click that, there will be a tiny little text box where you can ask your questions, where it'll be neatly sorted into a separate section that only I can see, that I can ask the questions at my discretion, and it doesn't get lost in chat. So yeah, feel free to ask any questions there. We shall be answering them shortly. But first, I have my final question, and that is, what's the happiest moment or the greatest achievement you've had since you started?
I'm just gonna say it's the whole experience. Like, even though I could point out to like a specific moment, like, oh, that time when I released my first cover and everyone was really nice about it, or like, oh, that one specific stream that turned out to go really well. I think it's more just the whole experience that's like really valuable to me, and like makes me feel like it's all worth it, because it's just a whole big positive curve, really. Because, like I said, I haven't had any haters or anything like that. I'm waiting for them to stop this positive curve.
Yeah. I mean, I've not got haters, but I've gotten bought. I've been banned before because of bot.
I think I did have those early, like not recently, but there used to be a lot of bots on Twitch. I think they've kind of toned it down now. But even then, it used to be like a regular joke where like, oh, there's a bot, he's saying bye viewers. Then my chat would be like, hey, I'm going to click the link now. And then I'm like, ban. And then they're like, oh no, I didn't have time to click the link. It just turned out to
Yeah. It's like it's a speed run to see how fast can you ban the bots.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was actually clicking the links, but it was like a
Oh,
whole
yeah,
joke
no.
about if they can quote unquote do it before I can ban them.
Pretty sure I could. If I was in chat and I saw a bot, I'd click that link in an instant.
Yeah, and it's not even that because I have links banned in chat exactly because of that.
Same.
But it's always like some kind of like, okay, slash dot blah, 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 something there in the middle. Remove this part and it's a link kind of thing that they will be doing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. No, I've had. Actually, I haven't seen a bot in ages here on YouTube. Like there was a time back, like literally a year ago from now, the bots were running around wild because I got banned on the second week of May, or was it the third? I think it was the second week of May. Yeah, I got banned then, and yeah, I've not really seen many bots since. Like there were still some bots after then, but that was definitely the worst. The worst of it when they were the most common.
Right. There is some kind of trend in Twitch too where just they've not been around recently. At least none of them have like popped up in my chat.
Yeah.
To be fair, I haven't really seen anyone do like warning tweets about like, okay, here's a list of accounts that are bots, ban these accounts or something like that. Like I haven't seen that in ages.
Yeah. Me neither. The only bot I want in my chat is me and Stream Elements. And even then, Stream Elements sometimes doesn't even show up. Stream Elements will comment, will be there at the beginning, then Stream Elements will decide like, nah, I'm gonna dip for a bit. I'm just gonna lurk. 2 hours go by and then I see again Stream Elements bot running and I'm like, you were gone? Why? You were supposed to be here plugging my merch. Come on.
Right. I think for me, I think I use Nightbot, but I'm not sure which bot does the auto-modding things in my chat, where they like start like banning specific words. I think that's Twitch, integrated in Twitch itself, or maybe. But I always have issues with that.
Yeah, I've got that integrated in both, in all three YouTube default, like in the creator settings on Stream Elements and on Nightbot. Actually, no, not on Nightbot. I've barely used Nightbot. I just use it for VTS Pog.
Right. I think, but yeah, what the issue I have is that it will constantly ban like the most silliest words or something. Like it has no context clues, understanding at all, and it's like a joke at this point because it will like ban or like delete someone's message at least once per every 2 streams or something like that, and it was just someone saying like, fuck that monster guy or something in the game, or like it's completely unrelated to like okay, I understand why you would think this is offensive language, but it's not targeted at me. Yeah,
like my chat restrictions were also for a while after the ban were quite strict. Like I had it in such a way, like I banned all slurs and stuff, but the thing is, it wasn't a list of just slurs, it was a list of words to ban. And it's just like every single swear word imaginable, including censored swear words. Like any way that somebody could think, how do I say boobs without saying boobs? Or how do I say shit without saying shit? And it's like that list was like 1,500 words long. And then like every second person that spoke in chat and swore, I would like their message wouldn't show up, and then they'd be like, why is my message not showing up? I'd alt tab, I'd go to YouTube and I'd see, oh, okay, this message has been hidden, and then it's like, okay, let me just unhide that.
Right. I don't remember doing any like specific word list for the whatever is going on in my channel. It just picks them up from randomwhere, and there's only one time that it has been useful, and that was because someone was accidentally using a slur that they didn't know was offensive, and I didn't know about this word either, so we were both like, what is this word? And then we were googling it, I was, oh, apparently this is a slur. And then we were like both like, oh, okay, we learned something new today.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's always like out of context stuff, and sometimes it bans stuff like, okay, like I don't even know, Yeah, I think I vividly remember it banning like no homo. Someone said that. I was like, that's offensive. Okay,
They
that's just a
banned
joke,
saying no homo.
right?
And auto mod. Not being woke. Bruh. Or being too woke.
Yeah.
But then that brings us to the end of our main questions, and we've got a couple questions down in the Q&A. So first off, preferably just Simon asks, would. But that is more for me to ask you if you know a specific tongue twister. The answer to a specific tongue twister. Simon, are you ready? And Marley, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, so the question is, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Yes. That's the answer. I think that's the answer.
No. There is a proper answer to it, and I'm obliged to give it. Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
A woodchuck would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
You know what? I think I've heard of that.
Probably. Now, in return, can you give me a Finnish tongue twister? Have me try and say it? I'm gonna
Well, you already knew about.
I know.
You already knew about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already knew about that one. Have you heard of Mustankissan paksut posket?
Can you type that out for me,
Yes.
please? Otherwise, I'm gonna ask you, Mustankissan Mustankissan paksut posket.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Now you need to say it super
Say it
fast.
faster. Mustankissan paksut posket.
Yeah, I think the whole
Do I
deal
have to
with
say
that
it
one is that
faster?
you have to keep saying it, keep saying it, keep saying it, and it is impossible to not slip up at some point.
All right, then try doing this one.
Irish wrist. Oh fuck. The S's are my weakness because Finnish does not have like a sh sound at all. So that's my weakness in English. Absolutely.
Irish wristwatch. Yeah.
Irish wrist. And also the roar sound is another one that's not native to Finnish at all.
Yeah,
so
I know
trouble
that.
with
That's
those.
another reason why I hate Finnish, because everything's a fucking like y'all roll your or trill your R's a lot.
We do. But to be fair, once you start doing the R and whatever, it's like you know how to do it. You just gotta learn how to do
See,
it.
the thing is, that's an essential sound in Afrikaans as well, my home language, and I can't do it. It's a disability. We have a word for it. It's called bray. It's got the fucking R in it.
Right.
Bray. Yeah.
I think.
It's
In Finland
a
too, there
lisp.
are kids who.
It's like a lisp, except it's instead of the S, it's the R. It's trilling an R.
Right. There is a thing in Finland too where kids don't know how to pronounce it, but we do have a thing in school where we literally give them extra lessons to learn how to pronounce it. And I think, yeah, that's like a normal thing where a lot of kids end up going there.
I need to go to Finland just so I can get those extra classes and learn how to fucking.
Yeah, I think I don't remember if I was in one or if I was like observing one because I don't remember going there often. Like I was maybe once there, and it was just like a tiny room, and there were like maybe 4 kids there just learning how to pronounce it. Yeah, basically, and that was like a thing they kept doing regularly, and then they eventually learned it. Because I think it's very hard to find an adult in Finland who doesn't know how to pronounce R.
Yeah. Until I go there and try and speak Finnish. Although at least, I've learned that ever since I've started getting more into the Scandinavian languages, especially more the Old Norse type stuff, because I love listening to Viking folk music. So that would be stuff like Varduna. And it's like, ever since I've started like trying to sing along with those songs, I've gotten the R's down better. Like, there's this one song from Varduna, which I think is it Rotlast Trefel? I think it's that. It is. Where there's like a whole part where they go Æsir, Nornir, Vísa, Vanir, Tursa, Meir, Trá, Valkurjur, Alvar, Dvergar, Dísir, Vulvur, Vordar, Vergar, Yggdrasil. Where it's like, I just went with that one on loop so that I can try and practice the R in a way where I don't sound that stupid to myself.
You're right. I really think it's just a matter of practicing it a lot in the end.
Yeah, but then the thing is, I can only fucking do those R's when I do anything in Scandinavian.
I mean, what I heard right now doesn't sound horribly terrible, honestly.
Not that
So,
bad.
like, you could probably get there if you keep going at it.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I'll take that motivation. But okay, the next question comes from Darkwater, and he's asking, how many people do you know that take a dip in the frozen seas?
Take a dip in where?
The frozen seas, or at least like a frozen pond or something, like a Nordic ice bath. Natural ice bath.
Yeah.
You guys do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, that's a normal thing. Well, more than the sea, it's more the lakes because there's a lot more
the
lakes
lakes.
available.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many people I know who do that because it's such a common thing that you could probably ask people in the street and like 1/3 of them have done it or something.
Have you done it?
At least once in their life. I haven't done it in an actual like lake, but I've done it in like a. There was like this one like there was like this one swimming pool place, and there was like one specific tiny ass pool with like super cold water. So I've dipped in that one, but I haven't actually dipped in like a lake or something.
I would never.
I mean, it was kind of fun once
I
you do
get
it.
cold so damn easily. Yet I want to move to like some Scandinavian country, whether
But
it's
you
Norway
get
or Sweden.
adrenaline from going there, and
You-
it feels so good once you get out of it.
I guess that's fair. Once you get out, is it hotter outside than inside? Like, do you feel hot when you get outside of the water?
Well, the thing is, I did it like during like, well, I think it was maybe summertime even, so it was like
Oh, okay. So
not
it was
even that
hot.
big
So
of a deal.
So
It would have
the
been.
point was to cool down, but would you do that in like the dead of winter in like a frozen lake? Just
I think
take a
the thing
dip.
usually is that when people do that, a large percent of them would first go to a sauna, and then they would go do the diving in the lake. So again, it's kind of like you are hot, you go cold, and then you run through the snow back into the sauna to get hot again.
Bro, you can get a shock from that. If you go through you go through drastic temperature changes, you can go into some kind of shock. What the fuck?
Well, apparently well, I guess we're just built
You're
different.
just built different. You're Vikings. Fucking, you are built different. You know what? Yeah. Well, yeah. And then
To be honest, I think I also saw like a thing that it's healthy to a certain point. It's healthy to do those kinds of like high temperature thingies for your body. Like if you just dip in there quickly.
yeah.
Like apparently, if you keep doing that like regularly, it like does something where your body is like
I'm
stronger.
pretty sure it has something to do with strengthening your immune system or something like that.
yeah, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Like it feels weird, but it works.
I don't want to do it. I didn't even do the ice bucket challenge.
I mean, that sounds easier to do for sure. It's just,
it
just cool
definitely
water.
sounds easier than dipping into a fucking frozen lake. But I didn't even do
It's
that.
just the surface that's frozen.
Yeah, no, totally not. Like the water underneath it is also cold.
Well, you know. Okay, here's an alternative. You don't have to go into the cold water, but you can just start making snow angels in the snow, naked after you come out of a sauna. That's another option that I've done.
You know, me coming from Cape Town, where it's sub-Saharan weather constantly, and it's like we don't get snow here. The coldest it gets here is like single digit Celsius, but still above 0.
I mean, that just sounds like almost normal. Well, some
sounds like
summer days have that weather here.
Jeez, no.
The hottest it gets here is 30 Celsius, but even then 20 is a lot more common for summer.
Okay, yeah, no, I like 20 Celsius. Well, no, I'd prefer 25, or at least like 23, 24, 25, that range. I'd prefer, because like it's beginning to get cold now. And even if it's just like 15 degrees out, my hands fucking freeze so quickly. Like, I don't get hot that easily, but I get cold very easily.
I think for me, it's the opposite, where I get hot easily. And my comfortable temperature would be like 18 Celsius.
Well,
It's,
yeah,
like,
you're
comfortable for
Finnish.
me.
You don't know what heat
Even
is.
then, even then, I think I'm a little like I think other Finnish people are a little more scared of the cold than me, or maybe that's just my family or like the people I'm around. But I feel like I'm more of a cold weather person than a lot of Finnish people are.
I don't know, you Finns are built different.
Maybe.
you Nords are built different, but okay. Simon asks, talar du svenska?
Nej.
Nee? Okay, there's your answer, Simon. For people who don't speak Swedish, Simon asked, do you speak any Swedish? And I just happen to know what that is in Swedish, because as I mentioned earlier, I started learning it. So I would be able to say, nej, jag talar inte svenska.
Yeah. That's literally half of what I understand of Swedish at this point, because I've
Pretty
forgotten
much.
everything.
The most important part of learning a language is first off the swear words, and then saying, sorry, I don't know how to speak your language.
Yeah.
But okay, then question from Darkwater again. What is your favorite? What's a folklore from Finland that you like? So Finnish folklore. What's your favorite?
No, that's hard. I'd be wanting to learn more about Finnish folklore, because it's genuinely really interesting, and it's kind of, it feels like it's very much its own separate thing compared to like, okay, Norse mythology is its own different thing, and it's like not related to Finnish thing at all.
I mean, yeah, because Norse mythology is more, I want to say Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish.
Yeah, and then Finland, even though we're like
Finland's
right
left
next.
out.
Yeah, we're kind of left out. We have our own weird things going on.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what the Russians have, but I think they also have their own stuff that's not related to ours at all.
Yeah. Although I do
definitely-
know that Russia has like some heritage when it comes to Vikings, because the Kievan Rus were Vikings.
I could see that. They also have, like, I would imagine there may be somewhere in the north where there's like connection to the sea and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I mean, there were some Vikings in Finland too, to an extent, because obviously the coastal area was so close by.
Yeah.
But even then, they would still like not be part of the majority of the. Like, it's like I don't think they will be casually living there. It's more like they were trading with us, that kind of thing. But when it comes to the actual question, I think I really like the folklore around Midsummer's Day in Finland.
Oh, Midsommar.
Midsummer. Yeah. Or Juhannus in Finnish. Where,
Juhannus.
yeah, Juhannus. But what I would, because I've always, like, even when I was a child, there was this whole thing where, okay, you can go outside on the day of midsummer and you can collect some flowers, and then you would take them to your bed and put them underneath your bed. And then when you sleep, you will see your future husband in your dreams and that kind of thing. And that only works if you do it in the midsummer day, like this, like the night after the day, basically, the night of it in a way. Like it's the day and then you go sleep. Yeah, midsummer's night, I suppose. And there's other cool stuff too about like seeing like, I think willow wisps or something like that in the forest during nighttime of midsummer's night. And like, apparently if you go, because obviously it's also very lit during the summer, so it's like, but when you go into the forests, they will be kind of like in the shade, kind of dark. So apparently there's supposed to be some kind of like willow wisps flying around, or some kind of like virvatuli is the word in Finnish that I'm thinking of.
Wait, say it again.
So some kind of like virvatuli.
Virvatuli.
Yeah, some kind of like a fire thing flying in the air. Like it's been years since I heard about all the details regarding to that, but it just sounds really mystical that you can just go out during the night and in the forest and you're just gonna see some flying flying fire around and something like that.
Okay. Did you do it?
I don't think I've ever been. Well, okay.
No,
As a kid,
the
no, I
flower
wouldn't go
thingy.
outside.
I mean the flower thingy.
Oh, yeah, I think I did it, but I didn't see a dream.
You didn't see.
No, I didn't remember if I saw one.
What do you think does that mean for your romantic prospects in the future?
I think they want to keep it a secret from me because I would be too overpowered if I knew.
Overpowered or overwhelmed?
Overpowered, or like I would like get too smug about it or something like that.
You're like, my future husband is an A-list actor.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of money and
Yeah. You're just gonna be like, my future husband is fucking what's his name? Fuck. Ryan Reynolds. That's the name I was thinking of. Or something like that.
Right.
But then Mist Boy asked the question, if you could spend a day with a character from Macross, who would it be and what would you do? You've got no limits as to what you want.
I don't. See, the first thing that comes to my mind would be Rankali, who's my favorite character of all time from Macross. But I don't know. I feel like it'd be really cute to go to like an amusement park with her because she's like, I think she's like 16 or something. So she's, a cute girl, super cute, genki, and that kind of stuff. Like she would like that, and she would have a good time, and it would be a fun time. But I don't know. It would also be really, really fucking funny to pick Bogue from Macross Delta, which is a guy, and he's a funny guy. I think he's also like 16, but but basically he's a guy who's like very dedicated to military. He's a pilot, and he's like, okay, and he's also really smug, and he's like, oh, I am the greatest out here and whatever. But the really, really funny thing about him is that he's got like zero experience with women and whatever. So there's this one scene in the anime where the idols have a concert, and like his co-workers are like whatever, they're watching the concert secretly in like a corner because they're not allowed to because it's considered quote unquote military propaganda.
Oh.
So they're watching it secretly. So he comes in like, what the fuck are you guys doing in here? This is illegal. And then there's like a scene with the girls like and their boobs on the screen, and he's like and he's like blushing as hell, and he's like, oh, how do I turn it off? And then he is excellent at like donating money to them, and he's like not donating a lot of money. So because this is the future, so the girl can. There's like a specific message that you get, and the girl is like, you think I'm a cheap woman, huh? When this is all you donate to me? And it's so funny. So I would love to take him to an idol concert to traumatize him a little more.
Torture. I see.
Yeah. I hope it's so funny.
That's a based move right there.
It is.
Then the last question that we have from Darkwater would be, would you soccer kick a Wolverine attacking someone if you had to?
No, I think I would be running away.
Leave them to
Depends on
struggle
who the
with
person
the
is.
Wolverine on their own.
Yeah, I don't think I'm picking a fight with them, because what happens after the kick, huh? I don't think I'm surviving after the kick.
Just kick him into a frozen lake, easy. Have him take a bath.
No, see, there's nothing wrong with the bath. He's just gonna come out of it and he's fine.
You know, that's fair. The fucking Wolverines are resilient bastards. They would easily survive.
Probably.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. One final question before we wrap up from Simon. And that is, did you have a good time? Have you enjoyed this episode?
Yeah. More than I thought I did, actually.
Oh, you did? Hell yeah.
Yeah, because
And I'm
remember,
glad.
I kind of walked into this being like, okay, social anxiety. Okay, am I gonna live? Okay, I practiced half of these questions really well. Okay, am I gonna live? Okay. And then it's like, okay, you know what? This is fine, actually. I'm not on fire or anything. I'm fine.
You're like, hey, this Zara dude's actually pretty fucking chill.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's what I always say. It's like, it's not anything big. It's literally, the show is literally just us coming, like, on the show and just chatting. And then I've got a couple questions that I'm set to ask so that we can go at least an hour minimum. Like that's
True.
all I need. Just an hour.
It is, but at the same time, when you're someone like me where just basic talking with people is enough to scare you, it's like it does. I mean, like the issue isn't the fact that we're live or anything like that. I mean, I'm used to that. It's the fact that there's a person I've not talked to a lot with that I have to suddenly talk with. That's all it is.
With. What do you mean? Like not a lot
Yeah.
equals like a couple messages.
I guess so.
A couple messages being me asking you, hey, do you want to be on the show? You being like, I'm sure.
Right, but I mean, of course, I wouldn't have just come here out of that. I did go and watch a couple, well, not full episodes, but here and there, I was just like skipping through and okay, this is what kind of guy this guy is. Okay, it seems like I won't die if I come on the show. It seems okay. So
That's
there's
fine.
some research.
It's fine. We've both already died. You're a ghost and I'm reincarnated. It's fine.
You're right. You're
if you die
right.
again, I know a guy.
There.
I can just give you his details and it's like, you know, you can go there, you can be like, hey, I want to go here. Although he's kind of like a
True.
genie. You've got to be a bit more specific. I've learned the hard way.
Right. To be fair, I'm also scared of ghosts, even though I'm a ghost. It's
scared of
like
Do you ever watch like paranormal investigation stuff like Sam and
okay, I do. I love that
Colby,
stuff.
or- You do?
I mostly what is it? BuzzFeed Unsolved or
I
Ghost
fucking
Files,
knew
what
you
they
were
do
gonna
now.
say BuzzFeed.
They're good. Okay, the show is fun.
I prefer Sam and Colby and Mackie and Amanda.
I
Their
haven't
stuff's a bit
ventured
more-
too much into
bit-
who else is there.
Yeah. No, I'd
I'll
recommend,
take a note of that.
recommend checking them out. They usually do some good stuff. Mackie and Amanda are a bit more active than Sam and Colby, but they've done some good stuff in the past, especially those four together. Because Mackie and Amanda, both of them are mediums, so
Oh,
like they've got that extra bonus when it comes to communicating with ghosts.
interesting. I definitely have to take a look at it. But the whole thing is that I can binge these shows, but I would be scared to shit if like I would actually have to like participate in one of these shows.
So if
Like-
they offered you, like, let's say you won the chance to join them on one of those, what would you do?
I would run away as far as I could. You cannot get me any closer.
You'd
I
not
would
want
be.
you'd not want to be on an episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved?
No, I would be too scared.
What if
I'm
you're the
gonna be
ghost
afraid
they're trying
something
to-
follows me home.
What if you're the ghost they're trying to?
I'm still afraid. There's gonna be some other ghost there that's gonna take a liking to me, and I'm just like, no, I can't even lock you out of my room. You're a ghost. You know, locks don't keep you away, like most humans will be kept away with.
Well, with that, I think that's a good spot to end this episode on. So, once again, make sure you guys go check out fnv.crd.co for anything to do with the show. Also, if you are a fellow VTuber and you are still listening now, there is a Google Forms link that you can fill out. Marlie, if you have any friends that you want to send my way, you can send them that link as well. Yeah, people can, if you're a VTuber and you want to fill it out, you can do that, and then I'll eventually get you on. We've only got a couple, about 25 episodes left of this season because I've decided I'm gonna end the FNV season 1 on episode 100 and then take a break for a bit until I get to do my rebranding and all of that I'm planning in the future. So yeah. With that said, make sure you also go check out my wonderful guest, Ghost Girl Marlie, on Twitter and Twitch. Her stuff are everywhere. It's on the screen, in the description, in the show notes, in chat. It's everywhere. Just go check her out. Show her some support. She's been lovely. You said you stream how often? 4 days a week? About
4 days a week for at least 2 hours a day.
Okay. Yeah. So there you go. And what times usually?
Anywhere from like GMT +3, 4 p.m. to like 11 p.m. That's usually the range. So it's a solid like around 6 hour-ish and like European afternoon hours, basically.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much my times as well.
Right.
Where, well, I have to adapt according to load shedding, so yeah. Which is just the scheduled power outages that we have because our country's shit.
Fair.
But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Thanks everybody for stopping by and joining. And if you enjoyed it, once again, drop a like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. We will be back next week with another episode of FNV. But until then, I have been your host, Zara, and I will see you all next time. But until then, ciao for now.
Sun goes down, our spirits free. Nothing left but our energy. Take my hand, we can go and see a world unknown. Come explore with me. No, explore with me. Yeah, explore with me. No, explore with me.
By the way, don't everybody leave just yet. I want to see if we can raid into somebody. I think my boy Lumberjack Samurai might be streaming. So if he is live, I can raid him there. But otherwise, is he? Nope. But you know what? Punkalopi's live, so we're gonna go into Punkalopi's stream. I will post the raid message in chat now. It is as usual. It's Kappa Svara FNV raid! Exclamation point Kappa. If you're selected all in Control C, just copy it, and then that's the raid message. We're going to be saying hi to Punkalopi. She's a previous guest of the show. Episode 52, I think. If y'all want to go check it out. But, yeah. I'll see y'all then.